So these are images of camp followers, and I wanted to kind of talk about Washington's relationship with the camp followers. He was not fond of them at all, and yet he knew the important role that they had in the Continental Army's success during the Revolution. The Continental Army, especially starting out, really were inexperienced and were scrappy. They didn't have uniforms, they didn't have proper health care, they didn't have food, they didn't have shoes or housing. They, they were very wanting. And so these camp followers, these women, were mothers and cousins and sisters and wives that chose to bring their families along with them, and they would help out as best they could. But Washington saw them as a distraction, and they probably were, rightly so, but without them there, most of the troops probably would have abandoned far earlier than the ones that actually did choose to leave did. And because of that, he kept them on. Although he wasn't shy about communicating his disdain for them, and in fact actually talked to Congress, and they passed some sort of legislation that basically meant that these women had to walk behind the troops and had to be fed last, and earn very little compensation for the jobs that they were doing. And I also want to note that they had to put up with the same conditions that all the men were, but they also had to try to maintain some aspect of their femininity as a social standard. They had it twice as hard, and most of them had families that they had to take care of. So it was a very challenging role during the American Revolution if you chose to be a camp follower. Now, on the images themselves, this image is of a group of reenactors, as is this one. And I believe that's a painting of one of the images from before. This is actually from the Civil War, and not from the American Revolution, but I love it. So I included it there. And this image was from, I believe, a play about World War II. But I also like, the variety of what's going on here, the two roles that these two women are taking. It's very interesting to me.